Welcome to Keeping Up with Union County. My name is Daniel Montano. I'll be your host today, and I actually have a special guest, Chris Tutela with Tutela Training Systems. Thanks for coming out.
Dan, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's absolute pleasure. I definitely want to make sure that my favorite people are here. Chris is a good friend of mine. If you don't know, we were both graduates of the class of 2005.
Union strong, baby.
The farmers,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So we have another
Yes, sir.
farmer in the building.
Yeah.
I wanted to just dive in today. We're going to talk about getting healthy, a little bit of real estate, but mostly, a special event that's coming your way as well, right?
Yeah.
Great. So, and also I'm going to talk about the property of the week. His office is based in, training facility is based in Clark. So we're going to do a Clark special of the property of the week as well. All right. So, I'd like to pretty much give you the floor in the beginning and really talk about, your origin, how it actually started, what inspired you to actually just, run your own gym.
Yeah, so right out of high school back in 2006, that's when I started as a strength conditioning coach. So my cousin actually owned a gym at the time. It was called Iron Athletes in Morristown. There we worked with a lot of high-level athletes, and training is something that I was always excited about. I grew up watching the Rocky movies, watching Stallone, watching Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then WWE guys like The Rock and Stone Cold and Triple H. I mean, I don't know many kids our age that weren't, fired up and, always wanted to kind of emulate those guys. But so I always enjoyed training, and I played football, as you know, in high school, and I wrestled in middle school. So like training was always something that was intriguing to me. So it was a no-brainer. I didn't go to college. I actually went right to work as soon as I graduated. And from there, I was hooked. I was always showing up early, leaving late, learning, absorbing as much information as I could. After about 3 years, I then opened up my business, but as an independent contractor. So I started Tutela Training Systems, basically just renting space out of another private training facility like mine. And then after about, 3 years of doing that, I then opened up my first facility, which was in June 2012.
Wow, that's awesome. And it's funny you mention this because I think it's crucial in any business to model the masters, right? You had someone that were already experts in the industry, right? So I think to be successful in any industry, that's the shortcut really to success is finding someone who's already been there and just following their way, right? And follow the path.
I could not agree anymore, man. That's for sure, and it's something that I really preach these days because not only was my cousin my mentor, but I've had several mentors who've I've paid them for their service over the years to help me. Guys who have grown their businesses and have built gyms, and that has been something that has really helped me on my path these last 7 years now of owning my own facility. Because in the beginning, man, it was, I thought, listen, I know that I was a great coach, and I was coaching people for a long, 6 years at that point. It was something that I was obsessed with, and I was training people, and I had my own business already. But once I opened the doors to my first facility, it was a rude awakening. Like, I learned that although it's not just sets and reps at this point, it's not just training and coaching people, because not only do you have to be a great coach, but you have to know what you're doing and how to, expose people to your business. So I couldn't agree anymore.
What's really great about you is, and what stood out and why I reached out is, it's not just that you're a gym owner, right? You cover every facet of fitness, really through you have a podcast, right? You wrote a book.
An e-book.
You're still an author. You're still an author.
Right.
And and I actually joined your program recently.
Yes.
Full disclosure, it's really tough. I'm not saying I'm out of shape, but I'm not in Tutela shape. And the first day, I literally sat down and threw up. So it was definitely an eye-opening experience. But it's something that I'm so grateful that I've done it, because it's literally I believe it's going to take me to the next level. So
thank you. And just so everybody knows, it's not our intention of we're not trying to make you puke. That's sometimes it comes with the territory. It doesn't happen to everybody, but once in a while, you might try to push it a little bit harder, and then all of a sudden you feel it. But it's always important to start wherever you're at. Just if you're somebody watching this at home, thinking, where do I begin? Don't think I have to go make myself throw up or work myself so hard that I can't walk the next day. It's got to be a progression, slow and steady.
Yeah, that's probably more my fault, because I'm a firm believer of going deep, whatever it is. I go go all the way in it,
right,
and really make that decision. And
right.
That's something that I'm a firm believer. I don't know if you are, but
of course,
so other than that, I mean, I guess what stands you out compared to, let's say I just join LA Fitness or go
right.
to wherever?
Well, what we do is a completely different animal from what you're going to see at any other, especially a public gym, because a public gym, you sign up, you get a gym membership, and now, okay, go work out. A lot of people don't know where to begin, and there's a lot of confusion out there. So what we do is, everything we do is obviously in a group training environment, sure, but there's a program that I design, and everything that we do has a rhyme and reason behind it. There's a progression involved. There may be a regression involved where we have to step back. There's modifications involved where if you have a weakness, if you have an injury, we're going to cater and modify our program to fit your specific needs. And unfortunately, that's not very common out there, but it should be, right? It shouldn't just be a one-size-fits-all program. It's like, hey, we're all doing the same thing. Well, what if I have a back injury? What if I have a shoulder injury? What if I'm deconditioned? What if I have a general weakness? We're gonna start you where you're at and then progress slowly but surely. And you're gonna always be under the supervision of a coach. You're gonna be coached. It's not just, hey, work hard. It's, hey, this is how you're gonna do this. We're gonna help you, we're gonna coach you, we're gonna tweak things, we're gonna change, we're gonna teach you how to brace, how to create tension, and get full activation. This way, you could really train with intention, train with purpose, and work towards your goals. Not just, hey, it's time to get a workout and sweat a little bit, because that doesn't, if you're doing nothing, that might be a good place to start, like just start doing something. But ultimately, what happens, and I've found over the last 14 years, people get frustrated because your results end up coming to a screeching halt. You get injured, you get overtrained, you get fatigued. We take all of that out of the equation for you, and we show you exactly how you should be doing it. We explain why you're doing it this way, and we help you every step of the way.
That's awesome. And one thing I 100% appreciated was you saying, sort of what the reason was for positioning yourself a certain way and how to actually protect from injury. Because to be honest with you, we're not going to be training for the Olympics. We're not going to be
right.
professional athletes. So the idea is to be as healthy and strong as possible, but also not injure yourself.
Exactly.
That's the last thing I would want. So
right. It's the last thing anybody would want, right?
Exactly.
If you're not competing to be a world record holder in powerlifting, if you're not training, and I don't even say that because listen, the last thing a power lifter wants to do is get hurt. But when you're pushing and pushing and pushing and just kind of pushing numbers like that, the chances of you getting hurt are more likely than if you're training like you should be if you're just in the general population. Train to get strong, train to build muscle, train to lose fat, train to feel better, to move better, just to get overall healthier. That's the goal.
Okay, awesome, man. So I guess, again, I'm all about action items. What can we do right now? What are the best things? So I love lists. What's the top 3 things we can do now to change your mindset and really just get into fitness? Yeah,
let's cut through all the nonsense out there, all the gimmicks, all the fads, all that stuff. Here's the 3 things that you could do right now to get healthy, to lose fat, to start building muscle, to get stronger, to change your life. Number 1, that's manage your stress. Okay, sounds simple. I know it's easier said than done, maybe, sure, right? But you got to find some way to manage stress, because if you're stressed out of your mind, it's going to be your cortisol levels are going to be through the roof. That's the stress hormone. You're going to be breaking down muscle tissue. You're going to be storing body fat. You can't have that. So what you have to do is find a way, whether it be meditation, taking a yoga class, reading a book, journaling, talking to people about whatever's going on in your mind, but you got to get that stuff out of you. You got to figure out how you can manage stress. That's number 1. Number 2, you have to commit to making sleep a priority. Okay, 7 to 9 hours of sleep, that's the ideal window. A great book, Why We Sleep by Dr. Matthew Walker. Highly recommend that book for anyone, check it out. But sleep is so important. Again, Our sleep is going to help us fight our chances of Alzheimer's, of cancer. It's going to help us regenerate tissue. It's going to help our hormones and help our sex hormones and stuff like that. And everything from a recovery standpoint. You need to sleep, so make sure you get that in check. Number 3, commit to moving daily, commit to good nutrition or eating well, and commit to proper strength training, learning proper technique, learning proper mechanics, how to do things the right way. And you might be thinking, if you're watching this, well, what does proper nutrition mean? It just means pick single ingredient foods, right? Whole foods that we could have eaten 1,000 years ago. Lean sources of protein, unprocessed carbohydrates, healthy fats like nuts and avocados and stuff like that, fruits, vegetables. That should be the staples in your diet. It doesn't have to be keto, it doesn't have to be this or that, or intermittent fasting or paleo. If those things work for you, great. I have no problem with any of that, but let's keep things simple. Start with just basing your diet around earth-grown nutrients, single ingredient foods, and your life is going to start to change.
Those are great tips. I mean, that's literally, if you follow those 4 things, it
sounds simple. The recipe is very simple, but it's not easy because it's hard to commit because of the habits that most of us have, right? It's very easy to be distracted by the kids, by the job, whatever's going on in your life, but you have to commit to it. And when you commit to it long enough, you then turn those action items into a habit. Once those items are turned into a habit, then it's very powerful, because just like bad habits, good habits are very hard to break too. Yeah. So it's just that transitional phase. If you could get through that, then you're going to be in good shape sooner than you would if you were just following some type of quick diet program or something like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it, Chris. Also, there is a special event that you want to talk about coming up this Friday?
Saturday.
Oh, this Saturday.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep, October 12th at 9:15 a.m. We're actually having a fundraiser for the Clark Recreation Department. We want to really make an impact in our community. Right now, with the way our business is, we have over 150 members training with us in about 1,000 square feet. It's kind of crazy, right? Yeah. But right now we're not only want to impact just the people in the community, but we also want to make a difference. We want to raise money for the rec department. We've raised money for the fire department and other organizations like St. Jude's Children's Hospital. But this Saturday is going to be for the Clark Rec Department. It's a father and child event, meaning we're going to have a bunch of games and fitness related stuff, but it's just going to be a fun day. It's going to be about 90 minutes. It's not going to be super competitive or super intense. It's just going to be a good fun day. So if you want to come by, our goal is to raise $1,500 for the Clark Rec Department. So if you want to come by, you could shoot an email over to info@tutelatraining.com. That's TUTELA training.com. And my admin, her name is Lauren, she'll send you all the details and get you signed up for that.
Perfect.
And we hope to see you there.
Yeah,
so, yes,
I will be there. I will be there. And so I put your contact information if anyone has any questions about fitness or joining your program.
Great.
I have your Instagram. I have also the podcast if you want to slightly talk about that. Is it the
Iron Life podcast. Listen, we're with the intention of the Iron Life podcast is to help you live what I call the iron way, right? So we want to help you get stronger physically, but also mentally, emotionally, and we want to make sure that you're getting educated as well. So education, motivation, inspiration, that's what we're bringing. I keep saying we, that's what I'm bringing on the Iron Life podcast, but all my guests as well. We have top-notch guests on the show, and people that could really help you in different areas of your life. So it's not just fitness related, but it's all things strength related, mind, body, spirit.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. And that's the Iron Life podcast.
Okay. Well, thank you, Chris. If you want to stay for a little bit, I'm going to just talk about something in your neck of the woods and the property of the week in Clark.
I would love to.
Yeah. So we can take a look at exactly what we have going on. Today's property of the week is 21 Gibson Boulevard in Clark, New Jersey. It's beautiful 2007 built home. It's listed at $649, just under $650. So one of the things that we've seen have been pretty standard now for higher end listings is the kitchen island, the open format, and stainless steel appliances, right? That's
beautiful.
like, so if you want to take a look here, Chris, so you can see that everything flows pretty big. It's, you know, the living room, you can see the kitchen, you can see the dining room. That's the style of a lot of luxury real estate today.
It looks beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, right. For this home, there's one of the things that I personally like, of course, is the hardwood floors, but being built in 2007, you're starting to see a lot of homes, you know, built in 1950. Then they get, you know, renovated and they look really nice in pictures, but then you go in the basement and like, you know, it's 1950 in the basement.
A whole other can of worms down there, right?
So, you know, this being a newer build is, you know, a little bit safer for first-time home buyers or, you know, people are looking. You know, you can see the interior. I mean, it's a 4-bedroom, you know, 2 full baths, 1 half bath. You know, the master suite is probably my favorite part of this house.
Okay.
So when you think of a house, like let's say you have your custom built house.
Right.
What are the major things that you would want in your house?
So for me, it's got to be a man cave. That's the first thing that pops into my mind, right? I want a man cave. I need a place to watch my New York Giants, right? So something like that.
Okay.
A pool is something that always pops into my mind. A backyard is something that I always would, you know, I have a lot of people over my apartment as it is, so I love having people over. I love being around people. I guess that's one of my own personal issues. I can't be alone too often, but
so you like to host?
Yeah.
You like to host?
I'm a host.
Maybe like you know, like a deck or a patio, you know, something where you can barbecue.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's
that's a fire pit back there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So this one actually has been, you know, fully landscaped, has privacy with the trees.
Oh wow.
And then it has you know, a big patio for hosting. You know, this is a pretty luxurious bathroom. You know,
I can see that.
You know, with the big bath. You know, with the master suite. For me, you know, with a son, I want some privacy when when he's not running around. So it's good to have the bathroom in the same room, a walk-in closet where you sort of have your little sanctuary from your kid, but you don't want to be too far. So like I definitely want the man cave, but I like having like a little sanctuary in the master bed. So you'll know one day when you get
I'll see.
You have a baby. Right? But so this one is listed for $649. It's 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. You know, if you have any questions or would like to have a private showing, please contact me. Again, what we're going to be doing now is really just, you know, I guess what's the best way to contact you if I want to, you know, start a gym or start training?
So different ways you could reach me, different ways that you could work with me. You could email info@tutelatraining.com.
Okay.
You could shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'm at Chris_Tutela, Tutela. You could look up Tutela Training Systems on Facebook and shoot us a private message, or you could shoot me a friend request on Facebook, Chris Tutela. Shoot me a private message on there, and I'm always
you're everywhere.
Help you. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. I also have a YouTube series called TTS Talk. Myself and my co-host Ruben Borges, who's also the head strength conditioning coach at my facility, we put out a lot of content weekly on TTS Talk. So you could work with us training at our facility in Clark, New Jersey, or you could work with me online and you know, have a 6-week nutrition and lifestyle coaching program. That the best way to reach me for that would be on Instagram at Chris_Tutela, but you could reach me anyway for that. So if you want to work with me online or in person, I got you covered.
All right. Well, thanks for coming, Chris. I do appreciate it.
Dan, thank you so much for having me. This was really awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate you being on here. And again, thanks for tuning in to Keeping Up with Union County. Tune in next week and have a wonderful rest of your week. Thanks.